So welcome to the Rotary Club of Foster City. We are the club that, and our secret sauce is you, our members, and your teamwork and friendship. Marsha, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Turn it on.
Use the OM function.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thought for the day is Curtis. Yeah. It's an echo. Yeah.
Are you muted here?
Yeah, I'm muted here.
You want you need to turn your audio off too. That help? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Today is July 27th. It's Bagpipe Appreciation Day. Barbie in a Blender Day. Gary Gygax Day, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons. It's National Chicken Finger Day, National Creme Brulee Day, and National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day, and National Scotch Day. And it's also Take Your Houseplant for a Walk Day, and Take Your Pants for a Walk Day. And now for the thought from Princess Diana. Carry out a random act of kindness with no expectation of reward, safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you.
Very good. Thank you, Curtis. Don't be alarmed if you see me walking today in my pants with the plant. Okay. So visiting Rotarians and guests of Rotarians. We have one over there at the end. Jack. Oh, Jack. Mike. Jack, Mike, yes. Thank you, Jack.
Hello, everyone. Wow. That's a little bit too loud. So I'm the Rotary Club of Menlo Park, and I'm currently vocational service chair of the District 5150, and my name is Yi Hui Chen. Happy to be here today. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for visiting our club. Anyone else? Any guests? Patricia?
I have a guest today. She is my guest. She's just checking out whether she would like to join our club. And I think she's very interested in community service. Her name is Anita Morales. Please welcome her.
Welcome, Anita.
You would ask.
So I own a senior placement company that helps seniors and their families find senior living throughout the Bay Area, neighborly senior placement. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So I think that's it. For birthdays, I know I saw Diana's picture. Happy birthday, Diana, July 24th, and Ritzma, July 27th, and Jim Hardy's wife, Louisa, July 25th. We have Rotary anniversary, which is Jeff Brown, 12 years. Congratulations. Anyone has any good news to share? Stephanie? She's right by the window there.
I just want to let you know that I just got back from a really great vacation in Montana, and I fished, I went horseback riding, I played golf, I did everything. It was fabulous, and the mountains were gorgeous, the swimming was fabulous, and I feel so athletic.
Good. Now, Stephanie, you are all energized for our summer days events to volunteer. Anyone else has good news to share? Okay.
Thank you, President Shiraz. It's a pleasure to be here. You guys have seen me coming and going for various reasons. I had COVID besides a medical emergency, but all is good. And now I'm an official consultant, and I'm consulting for nonprofits and municipalities, and I have a job. So anyway, I'm really excited. Charter school is my first one, and they are needing help with facilities. As you know, I love to do that. So thank you for listening. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, past District Governor Mary Bates. Thank you. And thank you to all for your good news and the happy bucks that you donate to the club along with your good news. Anyone else, John?
Yeah, good luck. In 1995, the Rotary Convention was in Glasgow, Scotland. And at that convention, Rotary had published a book called Paul Harris and His Successors, which was a listing up to that time. Louis G.I. was the latest president. And all the presidents of Rotary were listed in this book, alive and those that had passed. At that convention, the living presidents that were attending the convention set up a little table and they signed this book. I've gone on and gotten every single living president that was living at that time to sign this book. And when Brad Howard came, Shiraz very nicely got Brad Howard to be our first speaker. Brad Howard is the aide to this year's president, Jennifer Jones. And I gave Brad this book and he took it to her and got her to sign, the last person to sign. So every living president since 1990, since 1973 has signed this book for me. So.
That is amazing, John. Thank you. Next, we have actually a little surprise. I know we all enjoyed this in the past, so I thought we would bring it in because my theme for the year is fun, where I want you all to have fun. So Greg Cool, will you come up here, please, for the fine session?
That's going to be on the screen.
Curtis, how do we bring that on the screen now?
Sure.
Sure. Oh, yes.
You having fun yet?
Yes.
This is a surprise. Might be fun, but things didn't work.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's with great irony that I celebrate Bagpipe Appreciation Day. I think it's an oxymoron, but okay. I'd like you all to take $1 out of your wallets and leave them on the table because Shiraz wanted Boys Against Girls on this. So I was thinking, and after having a couple of grandkids, about how distant we have become from knowing things that they know, and they don't know things we know, of course. But I'd like to present a program to you today of things that you're probably not going to know what they are. And so I'm going to need, who thinks they're a good grandma? Okay, you can be the spokesman for the women. So all the answers have to go through Mary. And do we have a good grandpa here? Larry, you're a good grandpa. So the answers for the men will go through Larry, and you're welcome to shout out whatever you want and try to help the other team. I don't care, because you do it anyway all the time. But the final answer will have to be from Mary and Larry. Okay? So let's start with the ladies. And you have to tell me what's on the screen right now. You're right, a fidget. And do you know what useful purpose it has? It has none. It just sits there and spins in your hand. And apparently it's a stress reducer, unless you're busy, and then it becomes a stress inducer. Okay, so how do we advance this, Shiraz?
That's it, that's the fine session.
That's the, it's over.
Wait, how do you go into the next one? Shouldn't you be in the PowerPoint?
I think you're in the PowerPoint.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's this part? Okay, good. So the answer is fidget. Okay. Now, the men, you're gonna have to tell me who this is and what game he comes from.
I don't care.
You don't care. You're warmer. Paul, you should know this. Well, you're maybe not a good grandpa because all right, the men all giving up? You're close. This is from Minecraft. Every kid in the world plays it that's 10 or under, or maybe old, I don't know. And his name is Steve. So it's not a real difficult one. You could have guessed half of it.
Good job, Phoebe.
Okay, ladies, you're up. Mary, where's Mary?
I'm right here.
Okay,
Right here.
all right.
If you haven't signed the card, running around, anybody else?
Mary, you're kind of stealing my thunder here. So, you know, timing is everything. Yeah, I doubt that, but let's try. Okay, ladies, this is the latest superhero for the women. Talk to your captain.
Wait, Wonder Woman.
No, it is not Wonder Woman.
Captain Marvel.
No,
No, it's gotta come through me.
you're close. You're close. And don't look on your cell phones. That's
Supergirl.
Ask Maria. I told you Maria would be of some help to you. Maria, do you know? You don't know? Okay, I need, time is, we only have a half an hour to kill.
Final answer?
You're close, you're close.
But she was blonde.
Or-
Okay.
Okay, no. Miss Marvel, yes. Miss Marvel. Yes, it is. She's the latest superhero. I do not know what her superpowers are. I think it's quizzical.
Making money from the.
Sure, she's a fundraiser. She's a super fundraiser. Okay, men, are you ready? What game is this? You're very close, but no. You people are older than I thought. No, it's quite popular with the kids. Gigi, you know, right? You know.
Pickleball.
No? Okay, I'm gonna take that as no answer. It is Gaga ball. Yeah, well, you gotta buy that frame, you gotta buy that thing, and I really don't know how to play. Maria, did you know that one?
It's like a dodgeball, but you're inside a circle.
Well,
And so
it
you have
says-
2 teams and
I said ball. Yeah, ball, you were half right, but it was for the ladies, so. Oh, was that the men? Okay, so far we have the ladies have 1 point and you guys have none. Two? Oh, okay. No, she finally got it. Okay, ladies. This one's a hard one. Tell me what this is a game. Oh, your guest? Your guest wants to throw her hat in the ring there, Patricia.
I have to tell you what it does.
You have to tell us what it is.
Oh, it spins both of the little spinners and they fight.
Yes, but what's the name of it? Come on, Maria. No. Your time is up. I'm seriously considering your grandparents need tutoring. Because when Christmas comes up this year, you'll be calling me. It's called Beyblades.
More expensive gifts.
Yeah, more expensive, something with batteries. All right, are we back to the ladies now?
No,
No,
men.
men, okay. What is Captain Underpants? You gotta get closer than that.
Cartoon character.
Yeah, you're close. All right, well, I'm gonna take that. You're not in this fight. It is a series of kids' books. And it's quite popular with the little ones, so,
Cartoon to me.
yeah. All right, back to the ladies. This one. This one.
My kids have one of those. And I bought it.
This will absolutely drive any grandparent insane within 20 minutes of unwrapping.
What did you say you were? Bubble pop, we don't know.
You're close. It's called Pop It. And it's basically reusable bubble wrap. So they can pop it and then it returns. So they can do it in the car until you chuck it out the window. Yeah. Okay. Who's up? Men or women? I've heard. Men? Oh, that's Pop It. All right, you need to tell me. I know that, but you got to know his name.
Mr. Blue Jeans.
Larry, in emergency, try Steve.
You're close.
Steve Jeans.
Steve?
Blue Jeans.
No, no. I see a lot of blank faces, but I'm getting used to the look. Kevin. Can you handle more? How much time do I have to kill here? Wait, no, I'm not done. No. Oh, this is a great one. Ladies, who is this?
Someone's grandkids. It's Captain Underpants.
All the kids know, parents don't. Okay, nope, no points for you, ladies. It's Mark Rober. And he is famous because he was an engineer with Apple and someone stole something off his porch. So he built a glitter bomb and it went absolutely viral. It's got, it's full of stripper glitter basically. And it had 4 cell phones in it. And so it was stolen off his porch. And then when they open it up, it just explodes all over their car or their house or whatever. The cell phones track it. He calls the police. They go over, arrest the people. He gets his thing back and rebuilds it, reloads it, and off he goes again. So I strongly suggest you look him up on online. It's a fascinating the things he does because he's gone into many, many different things, but that's where he got his start. He was also the guest host of Jimmy Kimmel last week, and no one knew who he was then either. Okay, are we back to women? What is Fortnite? Yeah. It is a video game, yes. So clearly the women are ahead. I'm almost done. Okay, men, who is this? You're not a man. Maria, help him out. Well, I know, but she should help him because she's an independent.
I'll give you 2 extra points.
Well, the guys obviously aren't getting. Nick Jonas, okay. Okay, well then the guy, I'm gonna give the guys another shot. Who is this? Selena Gomez. Okay, you guys at least are on the board now. Okay, and the last one, you can share this one. Who is this? It's the only one you guys know. It was related to food. Okay, with that, I bid you adieu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Greg. That was amazing. Oh yeah, who has to, which the men have to give
Man have to pay.
to Jack? Jack? Okay. So next we have Cindy Sims. If you will please come forward.
Well, first I want to thank. First, I want to thank everybody who helped with the summer concert on Friday night, because it was great. We had a wonderful time. And we had lots of volunteers. We had plenty of volunteers. The food was good. I think everybody had a good time. And we raised, after all expenses, a little over $3,000. I know, isn't that amazing? And so how we're doing it this year is that we're sharing this with the Lions Club. And so the Lions Club, you know, goes the first week, we went second week, there this coming week, etc. We add it all up together because we are sharing the food. So when the food gets ordered, some, you know, in the years gone by, some of the food would be left over, it'd be wasted. So we are sharing it with them going forward. And therefore we are splitting whatever the final take is of all of the summer concerts this year. And so we're dividing in half. So their first time last week was a little about 2,700, I think that's what Mark said. So far we're carrying our own, a little contributing more than they are, but we'll see how that goes. Now, we also have an agreement with the city. We are now giving the city 15%, which is just, you know, because it is a city function, the summer concerts are some city function. So we're giving them 15% of the net proceeds. And so
Not for the concepts.
we're not.
No, only the summer days.
Thank you for that correction. I feel so much better. Because I was thinking mine is 15%. So erase that, only have to worry about that for summer days. Okay, great. Okay, so having slightly misled you on that, we have a chance to do this again in another week, not this Friday, but a week from Friday. August 5th is the next time that we are cooking and selling. And so I've got a sign-up sheet that I'm going to pass around. It looks exactly the same as the last one, but it's empty. And it says August 5th at the top. And so if you want the same task, because a lot of you did a great job and you kind of know what you did, sign up for that. And the fact that you were here today, you get first dibs. So thank you guys. And that's it. First dibs.
Thank you, Cindy. Next, we have Rotarian of the Month, and this is a bit overdue. I would like to invite Patricia Player Maxwell to please come forward. So I am the one that nominated you, Patricia. And you can guess for what it is. So this is, you know, we've all been in the fundraising space and we all know how difficult it is to fundraise. And I think it's amazing that Patricia manages to raise, you know, the funds that she does. I still don't have the final count on the money that eventually came, but it's between 20,000 and 30,000, right? Debbie, what is the amount?
47,000.
47?
15.
15.
Well, we got 15,000, over 15,000 net to you, but we raised over 47,000.
That is phenomenal. You know, to raise that, to get that level of sponsorship, to get the, and the main thing is over and over again, the people who attended, they absolutely love it. They call me up, they text me and say, thank you, and let me know when you are going to do this event again. And that is very, very rare to get that kind of level of love and excitement from the community. So thank you very much, Patricia, for your tireless work in doing this. So we have a little Rotarian of the Month pin for you. And I thought it'd be so easy to pop it out of the box, but apparently not. I should have done this before. Do you want me to poke you?
Yes, you can, yeah. No, no, don't poke me, just put that. No poking. Thank you.
And here is a little certificate that reads, Patricia Blair Maxwell is recognized for her tireless work and steady leadership in organizing a very successful Health and Aging Education Day. She has raised funds for our club's charity endeavors while providing an excellent educational service to the community. Thanks to Patricia's diligence and dedication, Healthy Aging Day has become a premier event that benefits both seniors and providers. And thank you so much. Here's a set, actually I have to sign this. And I want to thank Mike Hoffman for the words, for doing the write-up for us. Thank you, Mike.
I've taken that picture, you were there, she did a great job. It's an amazing amount of assignments for all the vendors, all table numbers, people that come in have to register and get tickets, the food for everybody, and even how to line them up and all that stuff. And check in people, it was and all the speakers and all that stuff. It was an amazing work, and I was very proud of just helped a little bit, but she did a terrific job for that.
And I want to say the same thing. Work hard, so did Diana. I don't want to shortchange Diana, but you really, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I could not have done it without my committee, specifically for Diana, who did all of the grunt work really, because I was also working full time. But thank you all, and I'm very humbled by this recognition.
Very well deserved, Patricia. And Dave DeSchmidt has an announcement to make.
I do. In the past, I provided clothing for Rotarians with the emblem on them and everything. I have a order pad to pass around if you'd like to sign up. Some of the new members have asking me about it. I brought one of Jamie Cavanaro's sweatshirts that he just got. This come in red and heather gray. And so if you'd like this style of thing or the blue ones you've got in the past with the order discount, we could do that too. So I'll pass this around. If you let me know, it'd be great. Right. Or minimal charge.
Okay, so Linda Grant.
Thanks, Shiraz. We have Second Harvest Food Bank a week from this coming Friday, the 5th. And we are changing around how we line cars up and that kind of thing, because we had a few little problems last time. Two of our clients had a little bender. So we're changing some things around. Actually, Tracy, let's give Tracy all the credit. I talked to her about it and she suggested a new way of doing that. Because it's the first time and we sort of need to educate the clients a little bit, and keep in mind, our clients line up at 6:45. I arrive at 7:50 every time, and there's at least 10 cars in line.
Wow.
So we will, Larry and I will be there early because we need to direct the truck. We will have signs, but I could use about 3 people to nicely direct the cars to their new location. We will have signs and safety vests for you and that kind of thing. So those of you that couldn't do the loading in the past, if you can stand for a couple of hours and direct some traffic, that would be great. And then I do need one more loader for the 5th. So I could use one more person for that. So Larry, are you volunteering?
Yeah, 5th, on the 5th.
It's a Friday. Don't you play golf?
I know, but I have a little injury.
Uh-oh. But can you lift?
I can lift.
Okay, so Larry, that's great. And then others of you that you can help out, Mary Lou, are you helping to direct traffic? Okay, and well, you're down at the other end. So just two more people. Mike, you want to direct some traffic? That's great, because we'll be around, and I'm not even sure the directors of traffic need to be around the whole time. Well, just once they get into formation and see the lines and cones and things like that. Stephanie, if you want to come as well. It's the 5th, and I'll send out a thing.
What time did you want?
8 o'clock. Actually, you driving, the people that are directing traffic, I'll probably need you there earlier. I'm gonna need you there at 7:45. At least, yeah. I may change that to earlier yet, but. Yes, I will remind everyone. I'll send out an email, no worries. And I see your name, your hand back there. Okay, thanks, guys.
Rich Mozzini, will you come up here for scholarships? Thank you.
Believe it or not, this will be the last time I'm up here for scholarships. I've enjoyed it. I knew I would get a resounding applause. I can't get applause for anything else, but I knew I would get it for that. Last week was supposed to be our final scholarship award, but the recipient who's here today could not make it. Our recipient today is Maria Fernandez Martinez Aguilar. Great name, great name. She was the graduate speaker 2 weeks ago at the graduation ceremony for the adult school. Maria came to this country 8 years ago from Honduras, speaking no English. She was 6 months away from graduating from San Mateo High School about 3 years ago, when her young son got asthma and got very, very sick. She had to stay home for a couple of months. And when she returned to school, there was only 1 month later, and the counselor told her that she could not graduate because of the time that she missed. She was devastated after putting in all that time, especially learning English in 4 years, which is a real tough language. She was in and out of adult school for 2 or 3 years until she finally, in March of this year, made a commitment to finish and get her diploma. And in her own words, why? To be a mirror for her 2 sons. The scholarship monies that I'm going to give her today she will be receiving, will help pay for her tuition to Hilltop Beauty School, where she is currently enrolled. When her family is financially stable, her long-range goal is to go to CSM and become either a court translator or a police officer. Congratulations, Maria Fernandez Martinez Aguilar. Come on up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Fernanda Martinez Aguilar, and I am from Honduras. And I'm just planning to buy some cosmetology materials with the scholarship that I just got. Thank you.
Congratulations, here's your money.
Thank you.
As a sidelight, when I came in tonight, just hold on a second, please. When I came in today, knowing that she was from Honduras, it dawned on me that about 20 years ago, Paul Williams' mom was up in the highlands in Honduras, and he led a contingent, I think himself and Greg Corton and somebody else up there. And I introduced her to Maria, and they talked about the cities that she's from and where Paul and his mother was from, and I thought it was apropos. Thank you. Now we're going to have a little photo shoot.
Thank you, Rich, and congratulations, Maria. Maria, just so you know, we all care about you, and whenever you are studying and working in your beautician program, just we are rooting for you. You have this whole room full of people who are here to encourage, and we are rooting for your success. Wish you all the best. And past District Governor Mary Bates, will you come up, please?
Thank you, President Shiraz. Today I'm here for two reasons. One is Joni Trexler has been our catering director for the Crown Plaza for the last 25 years. She is retiring on the 30th of this month. So she's at lunch right now. So I'm not sure when she's going to show up. So hopefully Greg will be kind when I sort of give him and then we can all stand and maybe applaud and give her gifts. And thank you all for signing the card. The other reason I'm up here today is that I have the honor of managing a dinner in honor of our RI president, Jennifer Jones. And I just want a show of hands. It doesn't mean you have to go, but it is either January 3rd or 4th after she is in the Rose Parade. So we're bringing her up here, and we're going to be in San Francisco, probably the Westin St. Francis. It'll be about $125 per person. And the ballroom holds 1,100 people. Doesn't mean we have to have that many, but they're really cordial, and they know San Francisco #2 Club very well. So, and I'm the chair, and I'm hoping that there'll be support, especially from our club and others here in our county. So who would be interested in just coming, just interested? Doesn't mean you have to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, great. Thank you. I have a meeting with Brad Howard, our past director, this Monday, and he just wants to be sure that he can put together a memo to Jennifer. He's her aide, and convince her that this is a great thing to be able to come here. So thank you for your time.
That is wonderful, Mary Bates. And Mary Bates does a lot at the district level. So thank you. We have Patricia Priya Maxwell, who has an announcement to make also.
So very quickly, I'd just like to let you all know that we are sending out a form this afternoon. My friend here, Diana, is going to come and bring it round for signups for volunteers for the senior meals, which will be, I believe, August the 5th. 9th, I beg your pardon, the 9th. So if you'd be kind enough to sign up, and please remember that we're having a meeting right after this to talk about senior meals. Thank you.
Now, our favorite fun speaker is going to come back again today. Surprise. Greg Cool, if you will please come up here. He's our speaker for the day.
Can I close this, Cheryl? Just. All right. So he needs no introduction, right? Okay. Yesterday, John sent me an email about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and said, good news, you're the speaker tomorrow. So he said, I knew you would do the same amount of work if you had 3 weeks notice as you would if you had 18 hours notice. So here I am. He asked me to speak about the history of the playground project. And it does have a long history. I think it's interesting, but hopefully you will too by the end of this speech. So I decided to go all the way back, and we had a thriving Interact club, but we were doing beach cleanups and we were doing simple things around the community, and I just thought we can do so much more. We can reach outside ourselves a great distance more than what we're doing. These kids just need to be led to show them that they can do greater things. Not that the beaches don't need to be cleaned up, but there are more things we can do. So I asked John, I said, I want to do an international project. And he knew of a club, the Madeira Club, who you've heard a lot about because they're very, very close friends of ours over the years now. John hooked us up and we went down. It was John Grant, Rel Kempf, Ollie, myself, and I think maybe Therese DeHere was on the maiden voyage. And we went down with only 3 Interact kids. That's all we could get interested in the program. So we went down and the goal was for them to show us how to do the playground project. And not so much necessarily a playground project, but an international project. And Kathy Warnock, who's just such a good friend of ours now, Holly and I have made this trip so many times. She's kind of the Linda Grant of Madeira. She had every detail down. She had forms, all the forms you need, the passports, the forms for this, the forms for that. And she just gave me the whole bundle. And I didn't have to invent anything. All I had to do was cross her name off and put Foster City Rotary on there. And we were off to the races. So we did that and we went down and we got, it was an interesting trip down because Ollie drove the big motorhome down. And then we also had a Rotary van. And we drove the 2 of them down, and there were only about 7 of us. So we were a little over vehicled. Well, Ollie's motorhome broke down in the Round Table parking lot the night before we were supposed to head down to Mexico. So we were fixing that by flashlight out in the parking lot of the Round Table. And then what's that? The fan belt. And so we got that fixed and we're on our way down the next day. And when we get down to Mexico, the road into the, let's call it a resort. It's a motel, it's a resort anyway. They have lots of little cabins and everything. The road in there is 2 lanes, one going north, one going south, and it's sloped drastically on each side. There's no shoulder. So we're driving down the road, and Jim Powell, one of the Rotarians from Madeira, says, I'm flying past you, Ollie. And Ollie's saying, don't come, don't come. There's a broken down car in Ollie's lane, and he's pulled off a little bit, and his car's kind of on the side, half in the ditch and half on the road. Ollie's got the motorhome guy, and Jim Powell is coming with a trailer and a pickup truck on the left side of us. And Ollie's going, don't do it, Jim, don't do it. And he said, no, I'm coming. And so the 2 guys that were looking under the hood, they look up, they dive into the ditch. Ollie threads the needle and takes the mirror of his truck off, and it goes woo, 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 up in the air. Therese DeHere was in the front seat. She runs all the way to the back. And I was sitting back there. I had no idea what was going on, but I did see the mirror go by. And so that was our introduction to this club. So they thought we were crazy. We thought they were crazy. But they were just the best people. And we were down there to try to learn how to do this. And as we got to know these people, they said, we were doing 5 different sites. And there was team members on each site, and the kids are all divided up, and you go off and you dig holes, and one group goes into the mountains, and one group goes across town, and one group goes to the port. One goes to a school, and one goes to a doctor's office. All these places need playgrounds. So we get there, and we have some semblance of skills. And Jim Powell, who is I've mentioned before, he says to me, why don't you be in charge? And he doesn't know if I'm capable or not. He says, why don't you be in charge of setting up these monkey bars over here? And so I look, and we're on this great hill. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, monkey bars, that's 4 holes. How hard can that be? So we start digging, and I'm looking at it going, now, is he gonna want those monkey bars to slant with the contour of the hill? Or is he gonna want those monkey bars to be level? I'm going with the contour of the hill. So we do this and that, and Jim Paul comes back after a half an hour and he says, what the hell are you doing? He says, who would do that? I said, oh, apparently I would. So well, we haven't submitted it, Jim, so we can fill in the hole a little bit. But after that, Jim Powell and I were on many, many sites, and we had great fun together. But we had so many fun times because that group just had it down pat, where we work hard during the day, the kids go clean up, then we go to a disco. And the music was incredibly loud. Luckily, it was next to a bar. But you had to be careful because you're driving kids around Mexico. And so, we were told to keep it under control, and we did always. But that disco was, when you get out of there, you were never so thankful to leave a place as from that disco. Some of the, we only had 3 students on the first trip. And then subsequent years, during that, our first, our maiden voyage, we discover, as did they were running out of playgrounds. So we're supposed to be tutored for 1 year, and then we're supposed to go off and do our own thing. Now, I don't know if we're going to go to Mexico and find another town that needs help. I don't know if we're going to go somewhere else, but we determined that they're running out of playgrounds. And we said, well, we've got unlimited source between all the people in the rec centers in our immediate community, Belmont, Redwood City, Foster City, South City, San Bruno. There's playgrounds coming out every year, 5 or 6 playgrounds, and all we have to do is go get them. And so we became an unlimited source, new source for them. And so they invited us to stay on, and it was great. So we went down there 15 years. I think that's right, Ollie. I looked at my hat. It says 25 years on my hat, but we weren't there for the first 10. And we just had a great time every year. They're such wonderful people. A couple of the things about the 3rd year in, we've got 122 kids from different clubs down there. We had 21 kids of our own that we were bringing down there. We're limited by 21 because that's all that we could fit into 3 Suburbans. So we would drive them down. And then it occurred to me, I said, everybody's running around like crazy, trying to get the day we land in Mexico to try to get the kids fed. And I said, well, Kathy, we could pull down the rotary trailer, the small trailer, and to cook for 125 people, 135 people. That's just not a real big deal for us, but it was a big deal for her. So we took that away from her. We brought down the food. They got the food, but we brought down the cooking utensils, the grill, the trailer, and everything else. And so it just became a real big party, and everybody really liked that ceremony for the first night down there. It really got things kicked off. Everyone got fed properly, and it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of things that happened. I'm going to tell you some stories that most of the time the screw up happens. It's the adults, not so much the kids. The kids listen and they pay attention. We were stopped at our lunch stop on our way to Mexico on this particular trip, and everybody's loaded up. And Kathy, when she blows the whistle, man, you better be ready to go. And so she blows the whistle and everybody's ready to go. And there's one set of kids standing out in the middle of the parking lot. So, what are you guys doing? Where's your car? We don't know. It was here when we went to lunch. It's not here now. So we come, we regather, we're trying to figure out what to do. And then here comes their car. Their chaperone, who was a principal at one of the schools, and I forget, was it Tracy somewhere, one of the schools, went and got a haircut. He went and got a haircut, didn't tell anybody. He was a half an hour late. But when you have 135 people waiting a half an hour, do you know how many man hours that is? How much time was wasted? When we drive down, we all have a handle on our CB radios. Mine was Cool in the Gang, the Buffalo, Tijuana Taxi. Everybody's got a handle. Well, guess what his handle became? He became known as Haircut. It was not a name that they remember fondly because that really kind of pissed them all off. Then another thing that spawned from this trip is we're down there and we're watching these kids kicking around an old soccer ball. And ching, all of a sudden I said, you know, here I am at the house and we've got so many of these soccer uniforms in our kids' drawers from different years. You get a new soccer uniform every year. You get a new pair of shorts. You get new socks because you're on a different colored team every year. So we started collecting the soccer uniforms and taking them down with us. And I'll tell you, I think we almost created a war because we didn't have enough for the whole town. But those things were hot. That was a hot commodity and it was so easy. The kids learned how to give back because they're collecting the uniforms. They go to the soccer fields, they put out a big bin. The uniform, the mothers were happy to get rid of them. We've got all these soccer clothes and we bag them up into different colors, girls, boys, and we take them down and we hand them off to the Women's Rotary Club actually took care of that. They took those and they distributed them all around Ensenada, Mexico. So a no-cost project and it did a tremendous amount of good. Something else that was, it's humorous now, but it wasn't humorous at the time. One of the nefarious boys from Mandira was trying to deflower one of my girls from San Mateo Interact. And that, luckily we had enough chaperones that caught on and we took care of it, but it was a little embarrassing, but the only saving grace was it was one of Kathy's kids and one of our girls. So I'm glad it wasn't the other way around. We probably would have been our last time on the trip. If you've got questions, please interrupt me. Stephanie. From here to Ensenada, we would make it in 2 days because what we would do is we would drive down to Madeira, and Madeira is near Fresno, if that helps you put it geographically in perspective. And then we would camp out with them. The guys and I would stay in a hotel. The kids were all sprinkled in with the other kids. And this is kind of neat because it got them to know other kids right away. And Megan, my oldest daughter, has a close friend that she developed on that friend because she stayed at their house and then she stayed there for the whole 4 years that she went on the trip. Megan was the only student I ever had that went 4 years on the playground trip and 4 years on the wheelchair trip, you know, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. We just had Julia Thomas do it, but Julia got sick. She discovered, unfortunately, she was epileptic and she couldn't make it 1 year. Yes, Cindy.
So I'm just curious, what year did this begin? You said 15 years ago or so, but what year?
Boy, John. Yeah, 95, 96. It's and we went to Ensenada for 15 years. And then in parallel to that, we were doing the wheelchair trip. And we were also taking the Interact kids on the wheelchair trip. But the wheelchair trip was a district international trip. the Ensenada trip was just exclusively for our kids. So we were running playgrounds in parallel to Mazatlan and to Ensenada. Playgrounds were very easy to come by in those days. The nice thing about shipping them to Mazatlan was that all we had to do was put them in the container and wave goodbye. They put it down, they put them all together down there. We sent pictures. So when we get to a playground, every 10 feet, we'd walk around the playground and take a picture. And then we would send the pictures with the playgrounds, and they figured it out. I'll tell you, the Mexican people are very enterprising and clever when it comes to construction. And if they don't know how to do it, they'll figure it out. They'll weld it together somehow, but they will put it together. Couple other interesting things that happened. If you all remember Larry Shaw. Larry Shaw was notoriously bad with tools. He was so bad, he would bring a toolbox and you know what was in it? Yellow pages. No tools, that's all he had in his toolbox were the yellow pages. He went over the curb in the van. It was a van Peter Lauber lent to us. He went over the curb, where are you? There's Peter. He went over the curb, blew a tire. So now we're down full of kids. We got to go figure out where to get a tire repaired or buy a new one. And on the same trip, on the way home, Larry's yakking on the phone trying to sell stock, runs out of gas on Highway 5. So we're not at an intersection. We're nowhere convenient. We have to pull the whole caravan over, figure out what's wrong. Larry, don't you look at the gas mileage? So, well, I thought I had enough. In my car, I'd have enough. So, well, you're not in your car anymore, Larry. So we have to go up and get a gas can and come back and everything. And, you know, it just takes a lot of time. Now, our kids, we would take them down and they would have, you're so proud of them. They're doing such great work. I'm going to show you something here. Jennifer Dykeman was, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but Jennifer was one of my favorites, and I've got 100 favorites. We were on a site and it was just rock solid. We actually had to have a jackhammer to dig the holes. So we've got the guys on the jackhammer, you know, and she comes up to me and she's got this pouty little face. I said, what's the matter? She says, how come only the boys get to run the jackhammer? I said, okay, you want to run the jackhammer? You go ahead. Now, this is Dan Dykeman's daughter. Dan was on the planning commission, you know, so I think we've had just about every kid in Foster City that went to San Mateo High go through this program one way or another. Now, Jen, I'm going to send this picture around to you. Jennifer is in the middle. And I've always told the kids, here, let me send that around. That's a picture of all my seniors that year. That Jennifer was running the jackhammer. And I told her, you know, it looks like it might be fun for 5 minutes, but when you're running it for 20 minutes or an hour, it's not as much fun anymore. So I said, you know, let this be a good lesson to you, because if you go to COLIG, you won't have to run a jackhammer for a living. So the picture is of my senior kids, and they got a banner and it says, we're going to COLIG. So that's kind of the history. Well, she lived. She went to college somewhere. Oh, how long was she on the jackhammer? That kid was tough. She would spend the whole day on there if you told her to. You know, we would spell the girls. I mean, we'd spell the kids, but she took her leg on the jackhammer, and you know, she dug her holes. She was a pretty phenomenal kid. Another one, Jenna Sharma, who's been to our club. You remember Jenna Sharma? Jenna Sharma was so enthralled with community service. She was a top flight student. She was one of these kids, you just couldn't stop her. And the people from Madeira said, we wish you didn't bring her because she's making all our kids look bad. Jenna Sharma went on to Columbia Columbia University. Then she went on an ambassadorial scholar to Nicaragua, where she was in pre-med. She went to Nicaragua, spent a year there as an ambassadorial scholar, came home, went to Harvard Med, and spent her residency at Tufts, and currently is in San Francisco at UCSF doing community medicine. So she traded a pretty high pedigree for working with the common man. So I'm very, very proud of that one. Now, fast forward, how are we doing on time? We're fast forward a little bit. All those fun experiences we had in Mexico kind of came to an end when the drug cartels started taking over the borders and kidnapping families and students and things, and parents eventually just didn't want us to take their kids to Mexico anymore. I don't blame them. We thought we could squeak another year out, but we all got together and said, you know, it's just not worth it. Because you're going down in shiny new pickup trucks and Suburbans, and man, you just look like the poster boy of somebody they'd like to have and then ransom back to the parents. So that trip ended, and it hasn't, they're doing it a little bit now, but we were kind of knocked out of the loop 10 or 12 years ago. So about 4 years go by, and Art Kaufman and Rick Wyckoff came to me and said, you know, there might be an opening here. And they were the lead. Somebody knew somebody up on the Yurok Indian Reservation. And so we gave them a call. This is kind of a funny story. We gave them a call and they said, yeah, sure, whatever, with that much enthusiasm. And we said, so Rick and I and Rel Kemp, we drove up and we made a site visit to Klamath. And we had a meeting with the planning director, Jim, and I forgot what her name was, but we got up there and it was kind of like, oh, we got a meeting today? Okay. And we ended up sitting at a table out in the lobby. I mean, we weren't in a conference room or anything else. It was very after, you know, after the thought, you know. And so we said, well, we'd like to visit wherever you want to put the playground. And they said, well, we haven't really picked the site yet. I said, okay, but you know, we're going to be back here in about a month and a half with people and playgrounds. Okay, we'll have it done by then. So I keep calling Jim on the Yurok Indian Reservation. He says, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I sent him a picture of the playground. Oh, that's nice. So then I send them a picture of Ollie's van, Ollie's rig with a trailer behind it full of playground equipment, and my rig with a trailer full of playground equipment. Said, we'll be there on Friday. Oh, okay. So we get up there and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and they're just closing up the Yurok headquarters, which luckily was just across the street. And I went over and got Jim. I said, Jim, where are we going? Where's the site? Well, let's put it over there. And it was basically a parking lot. Yeah, let's just put it over there. Okay. So we started digging and we put in our playground, and it's a pretty nice playground. It looks just like one of the ones from Foster City. And then we meet Richard, and Richard was a godsend because the playground, it literally was a parking lot, because when we started to try to dig holes, it was impossible. So Richard went and got the little bobcat with an auger on it, and we would have never finished digging those holes by hand. So it's the hydraulic hole driller. And then he got in it, and a couple of his guys, and they got into it, and we became very close with Richard. And when we were all done, we're having dinner, and the kids have all eaten, and they're off playing games, and we're sitting down, and Jim is sitting next to me. And I said, Jim, tell me the truth. You never thought we were coming, did you? He goes, no. I said, why? He said, do you know how many people promise us things that don't deliver? He said, so let me ask you, you think you get a phone call and a guy tells you we're gonna bring up a playground and give you the keys to it. We're gonna bring up the people, we're gonna pay our own expenses, we're gonna put that playground in the ground for you, and then we're gonna hand it over to you and cut the ribbon. And he says, do you think I would really take that seriously? I said, you believe me now, don't you? So after that, now the Klamath tribe is divided into 7 different regions, and each region has a council member or a councilman, a tribal council is what I'm trying to say. And now they're fighting over us because now they've seen it. It's right in the center of town and they've all seen it. Now each tribal council member represents a different place on the reservation. And the reservation runs a mile on each side of the Klamath River, upriver for 40 miles. So it's an 80-mile reservation. And so now they're wanting, everybody wants the playground guys. And so we would come home late and the kitchen would be closed. There's only one place to eat. And I went in the back and I said, you know, we got all these hungry kids and how am I going to feed them? He says, oh, you're the playground guys? Don't worry, we'll stay open for you guys. So we put 4 playgrounds in up there, and there's a lot of people. Raise your hand if you've been on the trip here. Yeah, almost half the club here has been on that trip. And the tribal council, Ryan, who was on the council, he said, well, you know, we can't thank you enough for doing this. And I said, Ryan, don't think you're the only one that's getting something out of this. I said, we're bringing kids up here that have, most of them haven't been 200 miles away from their home. They don't know what a toolbox is. They don't know how to turn a wrench. They don't know what a post hole digger is. They think a PhD is something you get at college. A post hole digger is something you get out of Ollie's truck. But we're teaching them to give back. We're teaching them a life skill. And the life skill is to dig a hole. The life skill is to give something back. And everybody on that trip is from a family that has, you know, mother and father and pays attention to what they do in school, but they have never had these sort of life skills taught to them, you know, giving back, digging a hole, spending time, taking your spring break and going up and putting in a playground. Now they take ownership of that playground. They literally take ownership of it. So when they go by, you know, this, yeah, I did that, you know, and you all remember Seth Me, right? Mm-hmm. Seth Me and Lauren. Well, Seth Me and Lauren were the kind of motivating force in Interact. They wanted to get this thing back on track because they'd heard about it. And, you know, it was lying dormant for 4 or 5 years. And they kept bugging me to the point, Rick, you know, it was the perfect storm. Rick and Art found an opening. Seth Me and Lauren were bugging me. We want to do this. We want to do this. So when Seth Me and Lauren were at the helm of our Interact Club, we had to keep track of kids' hours because we were doing so many things. Only the top 20 kids got to go on that trip. You know, it wasn't just sign up and you get to go. You had to do so much community service in the club to get to go on that trip. Yes, Marcia.
Speaking of giving back, can you mention the time that you dug up the wall?
Of course. I was going to end with that. So I get a call one day, and it's from a preschool down in Redwood City. And they said, we hear you're the playground guy. I said, sure. What can I do for you? And they said, well, we've got a little playground we'd like taken out. I said, okay, give me the instructions. They said, well, it's pretty clear. It's just, you come down I'll never forget the street, Euclid. You go to Euclid, you make a left, and it's a preschool there, and help yourself to anything you want. We're gonna rip everything out next week. I said, okay, so we went down, we had a cutoff saw, I had a bunch of kids, and we cut the playground up and put it on the trailer, and off we went. Now, I should have had a clue when the gate was locked, but that doesn't stop me. I have a master key. It opens everything. So on Monday, the woman calls me and she says, where were you? And I said, what do you mean? We were there early. We were done Sunday morning. And she says, well, I said, we took it. She said, well, it's still here. I said, go to your window and look again. We took it. She said, I am looking out the window and it's still here. And I go, uh-oh. So, because one of the kids was reading the map, they said, turn left on Euclid and go until you see a preschool. Well, we turned left on Euclid. Well, the map said, go 3 blocks until you see a preschool. There was another preschool just a little bit in front of that one. So now the reason these schools had to have these playground, well, the woman wanted to get rid of the playground because it was outdated and it was going to be red flag. They couldn't play with it because it was too close to the fence. The apparatus something was wrong with them and they were going to shut the playground down. So they were going to rebuild. They wanted us to take the old one. Same thing applied to the preschool where we stole the playground. So I go back, I get in the car and I go down, I have no way to call them. I have no idea who they are. And I knocked on the door and I said, are you missing a playground? And she says, yes, and that's not the sort of thing that normally gets stolen around here. So I said, well, I'm Robin Hood. And I said, we'll bring it back and put it back in. Now, I told you they had the same problem as the other preschool. So when we brought it back and put it back in the ground, we could move it in from the fence. We could adjust the things that were failing, that it was going to be red tagged for. So the woman comes out and says, this is the best thing that's ever happened to us because we weren't going to be able to use this playground. They were just going to put yellow tape around it. And now we got a brand new playground that we can use. So shortly after that, this was right at Christmas time, Terry Shannon turns me into the paper and they write the story up as a human interest story. And they call me and interview me, you know, the Robin Hood who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. And because of that, I got about 6 more playgrounds. So it was, so I think Mary's given me my cue. So why don't I yield to Princess Mary? A question? Oh, we have every intention to go back. We have the manpower, we have the willingness. I'm not sure that Yurok is not done with us, but we will go to a different tribe. They are supposed to tell me next week whether or not they've had enough, and then we'll move on, but we're gonna go somewhere. We'll make that call and we'll find somebody. I will. It'll be spring break of next year. So end of March, beginning of April. So just block off those 2 weeks. When school gets in session, I will learn when spring break is, and then we'll use that as a target. All right, thank you. Mary?
Get up here, get up here. I didn't think I'd get emotional. You can be seated. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. She's a little emotional after 25 years of service here and getting to know our community. And I'll tell you, it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with her over these years. I started in Foster City in 1994 and welcomed her when she came 25 years ago. Yeah. And as you know, we've had unnumbered meetings with Rotary, our healthy aging events we've had, Foster City Village events, you name it. She's been there to help guide us all through, and so many other community events. So here we just like to thank you, and we've got a couple little gifts.
Oh my goodness,
So,
thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to say a word or two.
No.
Too emotional. That's all good.
Too emotional.
So don't drop this. It's a little
Mm.
bottle of wine. A card from all of
thank
us.
you.
Some balloons for the rest of your week. And a popper that I won't do because you might charge us extra money. You know how these
Cleaning
work.
fee, yes, so. Thank you, guys. It's really been a pleasure and honor. I've done a lot of work in nonprofits my last 25 years, so it's hard because I have relationships and friendships that have gone back 25 years. Some people were with me in Palo Alto, so even longer. So during COVID, I really discovered that I would go up every quarterly to see my grandchildren in the Seattle area, and I couldn't do it for 2 years. So last year I was able to take them to a dude ranch in Idaho, and we rode ATVs, we horseback ride, we went skeet shooting, we did archery, we did it all. And my granddaughter, who is 10, said to me, "Grandma, are you really my grandma?" And I'm like, "I am." And I said, "Why would you ask that?" And she said, "Because you do things that most grandmas don't do." So that was an easy decision that I can share my life with my grandchildren. Mason's 15, he plays football. I've never seen him play a game. My granddaughter is 10, and Savannah does cheer, and I've never seen her in a competition. So Saturday morning, we are going to Lake Tahoe. We're going to zip line down Heavenly. We're going to whitewater raft, and we are going to kayak. So I'm going to be that grandmother that will leave that memories for my little grandchildren. That they'll say that.
You're welcome. I will miss you all. Somebody will find me in my new venture somewhere along the line.
Watch your step. Thank you, Shiraz.
Thank you so kindly.
Thank you, Joni. So, Greg did not need an introduction because we all know him so well. But today he is actually the Rotarian of the day because I called him and I said, "I want you to the fine session." He said, "Sure, how much time? Just tell me." We had our speaker drop out and he right away said, "Okay, to John Grant, I'll do it." And wasn't he entertaining? Wasn't he entertaining? So, so big round. Greg, cool. Yes, Greg, yeah. And
I'm sorry, I did not friend a speaker gift.
yes, and that was good. I had a separate speaker gift for him because I can't give him the speaker gift that he prints for speakers. So we're a little better than that. So next time you will get your speaker gift. So thank you very much. I forgot it at my door. It's just outside. Anyway, so with that, I want to thank our greeter, Steve Droz, pledge, Marsha Cohen-Lyle, thought for the day, Curtis Chen, tech table, Larry Lowenthal and Curtis, minutes, Linda Grant stepped up last minute. Thank you, Linda. Treasurer, Larry Kavinoki, Sergeant at Arms, both Ed Grohe and Jack Petrowski. Thank you to all of you. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.